Let's get into it. So Jadon Sancho, we don't even have to have this from, we don't even have to say where it's from. It doesn't have to be from The Athletic, the Manchester Evening News, the Telegraph. It doesn't have to be an official statement from Manchester United. We are tapped into this, and the reality is Jadon Sancho has withdrawn, deleted, whatever you want to do. There was a pinned tweet since last Sunday that said he was a scapegoat, that he has trained well, that he's not going to put up with lies about him. That's been up for 8 days. It's not there anymore. It had to come down at some point. Had to come down. And look, is it an admission of defeat? I don't necessarily think it is. I think it could be part of a negotiation. It's a stand down. It's a stand down from Jadon Sancho, and it had to happen because ultimately, if it didn't happen, then there is a very, very, very public statement of disrespect to the club, to the fans, and to the manager. So I applaud this from Ten Hag, from the club, from Jadon Sancho. Somehow, it's taken them 8 days, but they've got to a point of that being deleted, which I think has to be a positive. Where it goes from here, I don't know. I would imagine the conversation has been something like a bit of give and take. You give us this, we'll, you know, and you can take that down. I don't necessarily think Jadon Sancho said after 8 days, I've made a massive mistake, please let me play again. I think if that was the case, it would have been took down very, very quickly. He's obviously stood by what he's done, and there's had to be some sort of negotiation. I would imagine that negotiation goes along the lines of this. Take it down, show respect, work really hard, and we will, you know, do everything we can to get you out of this football club. And if in the meantime we find some common ground where we work it out, we work it out. But if we don't, we'll work towards you exiting the club with us helping you and you helping yourself and helping us along the way. I think that's what it is. Crystal X says he's been pissing about in New York. You know what? I don't really get into that because I think that's just a little bit blinkered. I've seen some of the pictures of him in New York partying. There are people that think that Sancho's personal life is ridiculous. You know, the things he does, the people he hangs around with, the parties he goes to. That was levelled at him at Dortmund, and still people wanted to pay £75 million for him. To me, it's a bit hypocritical. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was with him. I've seen people going, well, Wan-Bissaka can go to New York because he's worked really hard, but Sancho can't because he's a party boy and he can't be arsed. The fact is nobody knows the truth about that. I'm not going to comment on it. You know, it would be unfair to comment on it. And at the end of the day, some people want to play golf, some people want to go to parties and listen to music and, you know, hang around. Doesn't mean they're drinking. I don't really have a problem with it. I really don't. Wan-Bissaka was there. He's been brilliant for the last 9 months. Sancho's there. He's not been brilliant for the last 9 months. So Sancho's a party animal disrespecting the club, but Wan-Bissaka's allowed to do it. Look, maybe from a PR point of view, it doesn't do him any favours, but that's not really anything I'm that interested in, to be honest with you. I've seen Harry Maguire out doing pictures and smiling at a restaurant the night after we've been battered. So, you know, does he not have the right to go out and have a meal? I think that's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that he's taken the tweet down. I am somebody that believes in, you know, you can't labour under a mistake or something for too long. You've got to move on. The best outcome for United is this is resolvement. Get it resolved and move on. Now, I don't know what that future's going to be. I suppose technically he could be involved against Brighton. Technically he may never play for Man United again. We'll have to wait and see about that. I expect there will be an announcement from Manchester United at some point. Erik Ten Hag answered an honest question about Sancho when he was asked about it in the post-press match conference against Arsenal. I suspect he'll answer a question about it on Friday in that press conference as well. So I think there will be a statement from Manchester United. My prediction is it's going to be about working together to, you know, benefit each other. Can you sack a player for dishonouring the club? And do you have to pay the remaining wages? I'd sack him, says Tobias. We've not heard anything about that. I'd be very surprised if he hasn't been disciplined in some way, shape or form. Whether that would lead to wages being deducted or not, I don't know. Barmer, member for 12 months, thank you very much. And Hammertown says he was obviously having a drink. Well, we don't know that. I mean, I just think sometimes it's easy to say that person's a bad person because they've pissed me off, and that person's not, who's doing the same thing, isn't a bad person because they haven't pissed me off, you know. And I think at the end of the day, we have to look at that in a fair way. Look, Tibor, welcome to the Members Club for 31 months. I just think it's very significant that he's deleted the tweet. It might be completely against what he wants to do. He hasn't done it for 8 days. you know, it might be something that really he doesn't want to do, and he's argued about it, but ultimately he has to do it. He's got to do it for his career, he's got to do it for his employer, he's got to do it for his manager, he's got to do it for the club. He has to take it down, and it has come down. I'm not that interested in the whys and wherefores. It had to come down. It should have come down a lot earlier. It's down now, and I think it's always been a bit of an embarrassment to everybody while it's been up. So yeah, take it down. It's gone down, and hopefully we can find, you know, we can move on without the drama, because you know what, if it stayed up for 3 or 4 weeks, it just elongates the problem. And I think at the very minimum, United will have said to him, look, it doesn't do you any favours to keep it up. You've kept it up there for 8 days. Now take it down. You've had your say. Everybody knows what your say was. Deleting a tweet doesn't mean it wasn't ever there, as we know. Anyway, look, we'll see what happens with that.